Don't tell Mom.
Don't tell Mom! Don't tell Mom!
Grandma's helping me with my homework.
Oh. Want me to help?
That's all right, dear. We're working on grammar right now.
Don't like this one bit.
Why? What are they doing now?
No, nothing. I just realized if Dad's eating here, this can't be a very good restaurant.
Good toss. See, that's much better. That was good. You had your shoulder pointed, you kept your eyes on your target. Let's do it again. Watch me. Just like that one.
The durability of the Volkswagen Passat. Passed down something he will be grateful for.
It's funny. It's very, very funny. But when was the last time you saw a dad portrayed as a hero in an advertisement or a movie? The last time that I can think of that was in The Pursuit of Happiness, when dad was actually a hero. Now, you see, this is funny, but for me as a pediatrician, who learned many years ago that if I want to do something important for children, I had to help their parents. Because once I help a mom and a dad, I don't have to worry about the kids. This is a very important issue for me, because while we laugh, it becomes part of us. We too start to laugh about dads. Kids are watching this. Kids begin to look at their dads as the butt of all jokes. If you could just sit in my office and see how kids talk to their dads, it's phenomenal. Dads are not respected, they're not revered, and it's an enormous problem. Why? Am I just making a big deal? Maybe I'm just kind of a stuffy person making a big deal about nothing. Let me tell you why this is really a national crisis. Because dads are the central figure in the identity formation of a child. Think about this. Think about when you were a child. Children, boys and girls, when they're young, when they're older, teenagers, even as adults, their identity is shaped by interacting with their fathers and their mothers, but we're talking about dads today. Kids watch their dads. They read their dad's faces, and they read their body language. And they're looking at their fathers, not because they care that much about their dads, because kids aren't that nice. They're very self-centered. They're looking at dad because they're trying to figure out some things about themselves. What are they trying to figure out? They look at their dads to say, Dad, do you see me today? Do you see me in the kitchen? What do you think about me? Men, when you walk in the door after work, your daughter knows and your son knows within 15 seconds what kind of a day you had. Not because they care about you, but because they need to know whether they should stay in the room or not. Right? If you've had a bad day, they're out. But they're constantly searching you because they need to figure out some things about themselves. Identity formation. A father plays a crucial role in a child's identity formation. The reason we cannot afford to bash our dads anymore is because it breaks children. The best research shows that toddlers who are securely attached to their dads are better at solving problems. The best research shows that if a girl is struggling with her self-esteem, the best thing you can do for her is not sign her up for better soccer or find her a better ballet team or hire her a tutor so her grades are better. The best research shows that the best way to boost a girl's self-esteem is for her to receive physical affection from her dad. Best way to boost a girl's self-esteem. Dads, when was the last time you hugged your daughter? The best research shows that when kids grow up with a dad in the home, not a stellar dad, not a perfect dad, a good enough dad in the home, kids are less likely to struggle with depression and anxiety, learning disorders. They're more likely to graduate from high school, go on to college, and go on to graduate schools. They're far less likely to be in drugs, alcohol, and sex at an early age. In short, dads are phenomenal for children. Finally, we know that the best research, a study started with 90,000 kids across the United States, looking at the factors operating in a teenager's life to keep them out of trouble. The number one factor keeping kids on the straight and narrow was not their peers, and it wasn't the school they were in or the church they attended. It was something called parent connectedness, dad connectedness, mom connectedness. What is this all about? if we can just dig a little deeper and look at why the research is bearing out that dads are the crucial component to healthy children, it makes sense. The identity of a child is formed by watching dad, by reading dad's face. Why? Because every child needs 3 questions answered by mom and by dad. Dads have an authority in a child's life that is unmatched by any other person. Every child, whether they're 5 or 15 or 55, looks to their father to have 3 questions answered. 1, Dad, what do you believe about me? What do you think about me? Am I good? Am I smart? Am I capable? Am I dumb? Am I stupid? And kids answer those questions by reading your face and your body language. 2, Dad, how do you feel about me? Am I lovable? Am I good? Do you like me? Are you ashamed of me? Are you embarrassed by me? 3, Dad, do you have hopes for me? Do you have hopes for me? Do I have a future, Dad? Kids who don't have those questions answered by their fathers live in chaos. I know this. I see this. You know men like this. Our prisons are filled with men whose spirits are crushed because they never had those questions answered by their dad. And we go home and we laugh at this stuff because dads, come on, are just dads. When I was 16, I decided I was going to go to medical school. My dad was a pathologist. I knew right away I didn't want to be a pathologist because he looked at dead body parts the entire day, and I was not about that. But he had a friend who was an orthopedic surgeon, and I thought what this guy did was amazing. This man brought me into the operating room, and I just thought that was it. So from 16 to 21, all I did was focus on going to medical school. Graduated college, sent off all my applications. I was living in Boston, very, very competitive. And one after another rejection or ding letter, which is really a nice term because it felt crushing to me, came to my house. And after the final rejection came, I was convinced at 21 my life is over. I had no plan B. I had no backup plan. And I went out for a jog to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with my life now? This is bad. And I went out and I walked back into my house and I overheard my dad talking on the phone in his study, which was unusual. My dad was kind of an eccentric man. He was very much an introvert. He didn't talk on the phone a lot. And as I walked by his den, heard him on the phone, I heard him say my name. So, because I'm a healthy young woman, I eavesdropped. I stopped outside of his door and I listened to him. And I heard my dad say, yep. My daughter Meg is going to be going to medical school in the next couple of years. And I thought to myself, what is he talking about? And then I thought, surely he's paid somebody off. But I will tell you the feeling that I had standing outside of my dad's door is a feeling I can capture now, standing on the stage at age 57. Why? Because in that moment, my dad answered 3 very important questions for me. What do I believe about you? When you set your mind to something, it's live, and nothing can stop you. He believed where I couldn't believe. The power of dad. How do you feel about me? I'm crazy about you. I always have your back. And what are your hopes for me? I hope that your dreams will be fulfilled. I know that your dreams will be fulfilled. I want to tell you, Dad, something. Years later, my dad's voice resonated in my head and in my heart as I wrote my first book and my second and my third and finally my 6th. And when I went to my dad several years ago, and I told him about that time, my dad didn't remember having that phone call in his office. Get it? Dads change children's lives. When you change a child's life, you change the family structure. If a child doesn't have those questions answered from their dads, they live in chaos. I know this. I've been invited to work with some professional athletes because these men don't know how to be fathers. You know why they told me? They don't know what dads do. They don't know what dads say. They don't know if dads are nice or good or kind or mean or embarrassed of them or ashamed because they never knew their dads. They don't know where to start. But that's the least of their problems. The biggest problem they have is that internally their soul is in chaos because they don't know the answers to their questions that their heart needed to ask. I want to just point out one thing too. Those questions are not answered on soccer fields and baseball fields. They're not answered in concert halls. They're not answered as we drive our kids around to all these athletics. And they're not answered on a college campus. They're answered as kids live life next to a good man. Period. Are we missing it? Yeah, we're missing it. I started talking to you about how we're deriding dads, marginalizing dads, and we women, myself included, are leading the pack. I'm not here pointing fingers. I went to an all-women's college in the 1970s, and I will tell you, we had quite a ride, and we led the pack in proving that we could outdo men at everything. And ladies, wives, moms, sisters, aunts, we gotta knock off the dad bashing. You want a game changer in our culture? Let's bring back some respect for our dads. Let's refuse to buy the Father's Day cards that only talk about hogging channel changers and drinking too much beer, right? Because it's crushing our kids. I started my talk with something that is not real life. I gave you videos of the persona that we have created year in and year out over the funny dad, the stupid dad, the dumb dad, that all live in our houses, and we wives need to teach them a lesson or two. And if we forget, of course there are 11-year-old children to come along and tell dad how homework is to be done. If not, how he's to phone, right? But that's not real life. That is not real life. I want to show you clips now of dads in real life. That's real. Every person in this audience within earshot of my voice has a responsibility to the child in your life that you love. whether it's your own child, whether it's your niece or your nephew, your grandchild, a child that you just know. We have a responsibility to restore respect and honor and a rightful position to every dad in America. You want to be a game changer? You want to change our country and our culture? Change our families by changing our kids. And ladies and gentlemen, it all begins with our mouths and how we speak to the good men in our lives.